Tackle Junkies, what's going on, everyone? Really appreciate you guys and gals for clicking on the video. Hopefully everyone's doing well out there and catching some fish. In today's video, we're going to discuss fishing line, but we're going to focus on line diameter. You know, a lighter line is going to cast further. You're going to have less line issues. It's going to be easier to manage. It's going to give your bait more action. So in most cases, you're better off using, the lightest line that you can get away with. Obviously, if you're punching mats or something like that, you're going to need like a 20 or 25 pound test fluorocarbon or braid or whatever the case may be. And if you're light Texas rig fishing and open water, you can probably get away with like a 12 pound test. But in some cases, if you compare brands, you might be able to use a 15 pound test in that open water and have the same diameter as what you were using before. So pay attention to the diameter when you're choosing, fishing line from one brand to another. I've been bass fishing for 20 plus years. When I started out, I was using Bass Pro Shops XPS fluorocarbon. Used it for 5 or 6 years, had some issues with it, so I switched to seaguar, and that's one of the things that I paid attention to, which was the line diameter. And that's really what I noticed. I was able to use, 15 pound test in a lot of the situations that I was using 12 pound tests before, and I had the same diameter, so I didn't sacrifice, casting distance, line management, overall action of the bait, and I was able to up my pound test and not have to worry about break-offs. So definitely pay attention to the line diameter, and in some situations you might be able to use a heavier pound test than what you're using before, but have the same diameter. So if you're in the market for a new line, definitely check that out. Just to give you guys a quick rundown of the line that I use. Seaguar and Vizx been using the longest. This is the line that I started with from Seaguar, 15 plus years. I know it, I trust it. Seaguar is what I'm spooling my reels up with. Now, in Vizx for me, it's a good do-all type fluorocarbon. It's got a bit of stretch to it, but if I'm going to have a combo that I'm going to use for many different things, from working the bottom to moving baits, I feel Vizx is a fantastic choice. I mainly use it for moving baits, but like I said, it's a good do-all type fluorocarbon for me. Now, if I have a dedicated rod to work the bottom and I'm looking for a bit more abrasion resistance and a bit less stretch, that's when I reach for the X. Okay? Vizx is my go-to moving bait line, from spinner baits, chatterbaits, cranking. But like I said, to work the bottom, I do prefer the X. Now, if you want to step it up a notch to Seaguar's top tier line, that's when you want to check out the Tatsu. Okay? A lot of guys I know actually crank with this line. I don't have any experience cranking with it. I do work the bottom with it and love it. I will crank with it this year and give you guys some feedback on that. But that's just a quick rundown of what I use their fluorocarbons for. Obviously, braid I like around grass, mainly swim jigs and frogs. And like I said, fluorocarbon for everything else but topwater. I still prefer mono for topwater, fluorocarbon for everything else, and like I said, braid around grass, mainly swim jigs and frogs. If I could only choose 1 pound test, it would probably be 15 pound test, even with lighter baits. Like I said, with that having a smaller diameter, I can get away with tossing lighter baits with a heavier pound test. So another benefit to using, a line with a smaller diameter. You don't have to worry about breaking off with lighter lures, because in some cases you can probably use a heavier pound test and, like I said, still have a pretty small diameter to work those lighter baits. But yeah, 15 pound test is probably what I use the most for cranking and for spinner baits, chatter baits, working the bottom, whatever. 15 pound test is a great option. Guys, I know you've also asked about Red Label and the basics. I don't have any of that, but I will pick some up and we can talk about that line later on in the season as well. Anyways, guys, something to consider. Definitely check out line diameter when you're going from one brand to another. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash the thumbs up. Love you guys, and we will see you guys on the next one.